Hey, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I'm going to give it a minute. We're going to let people come on in to the room and we're going to talk about this unbelievable story coming out of Kenya today. Unbelievable story. Well, actually, this this came out a couple of weeks ago. But for some reason it just seems to only like be making a bit of a splash. But mm, I definitely wanted to get something out on this. Now, there's a man, there's a man, Mazden Wanjala, 20-year-old, self-confessed child serial killer. Self-confessed child serial killer. This is coming out of Kenya. Oh, you know what? Before I even start this, hey, Janet, let me just really, really quick give a shout out to Heidi Fly. I hope you get well soon. And that's it. Hey, Centel. Hey, True Seeker. What's up, Janet? All right, so let's get this going here. So I'm gonna play this little clip here, and then we'll go from there.
We start with a chilling account where a self-confessed child serial killer, Mazden Milimo Wanjala, is currently leading police officers to one of the many crime scenes where he dumped the body of an unidentified child. A total of 4 bodies had been retrieved by the time this report was being compiled, with Wanjala blatantly admitting to having kidnapped and murdered 12 victims. NTV's senior reporter, Seth Olale, spent the day accompanying a team of investigators from the Directorate of Criminal Investigation Special Service Unit in retrieving the bodies.
20-year-old Mazden Milimo Wanjala, a self-confessed child serial killer, sits at the back of this police motor vehicle, looking unshaken by events that have shocked a nation. Dressed in a football jersey, Wanjala seems so collected that he even calmly narrates his ordeal with detectives interrogating the murders of 12 children he claims to have kidnapped and killed in Nairobi and Kiambu counties. Momentarily, his bloodshot eyes scare away curious onlookers who struggled to get a glimpse of a young man who was previously known by authorities. It all began on June 30th and July 7th, 2021, when 12-year-old Junior Mutuku Musyoki and 13-year-old Charles Opindo Bala were reported missing in Shauri Moyo. For 3 weeks, a team of detectives drawn from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations Special Service Unit based at Buruburu Police Station trailed the phone data used to demand ransom by the abductor, who later turned out to be Mazden Wanjala. Wanjala contacted Musyoki's mother, Felista Wayua, demanding a ransom of 50,000 shillings. Opindo's father, Tony Opindo, whose son never returned home from Sagaret Primary School in Majengo, was asked to send 30,000 shillings to buy his son's freedom. Police finally traced and arrested Wanjala in Kitengela, Kajiado County, where he admitted to detectives to have murdered the 2 children and 10 other minors and disposed their bodies. This prompted a day-long search that started Tuesday night, where detectives retrieved bodies believed to be that of Junior Mutuku and Charles Opindo at a thicket in Westlands, Nairobi. The suspect then led detectives to Kingero in Lower Kabete, where 2 more bodies of teenagers were retrieved from a river.
Sasa mngetuachia huyu mtu saa hii tumtengeneza tu kidogo, naye pia asikie uchungu yani, ili sasa wakuwe na uoga, wasikuwe wanafanya hivyo.
Huyu aache kutuharibia jina kabisa, anatupa kwa mtu inakuanga na amani. Sasa ameharibia watu wa Kabete jina, watu wa Kabete hatunanga ubaya. Huyo mtu ametupima, angefaa ekwe hapa atandikwe mara 2 hivi ndo asikishwe huko. Hii ni vibaya hii.
Huyo kijana kama ako na hiyo tabia, aenda uwe funzo kwa wengine, na wenye wako na hiyo tabia waachane nayo tafadhali. Si vizuri sana. Waona hii kichaka ni kubwa na kuna watoto wadogo ambao wanasoma, na tunawaruhusu waende asubuhi na tuko na wasiwasi.
Detectives led by Buruburu Deputy OCPD Busa Award and DCIO Jackson Murioki then whisked away the suspect to the next undisclosed location, where Wanjala had disposed yet another body. Bodies of the victims are currently lying at the city mortuary awaiting post-mortem. Meanwhile, residents of Kingero, Lower Kabete are calling upon increased police patrol in order to ensure their safety. Seth Olale, NTV, Lower Kabete.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm over here just, going to town on something. I'm so sorry. So, what I was showing you guys there was about this man masked in Wanjala. So he's 20 years old, right? And he apparently, in the last 5 years, has been on a killing spree, and he has been targeting children between the ages of anywhere from 12 to 15 years old from the research I've done. Now, I know this particular article is saying that the slayings of 10 children, but honestly, I found some additional articles that were updated today from Kenya that seems to point to 13 is the number now, that he actually confessed to these murders. And in some cases, um, he would drink the blood of his victims before he would even kill them. And he targeted children. Now, they did find a few bodies in wooded areas in the Kenyan capital of Nairobi. And it's just so disturbing. And it's not something we normally see for a variety of different reasons. For a variety of different reasons. Ugh. This is a photo of him being booked in. They call him a bloodthirsty vampire. Jeez, right? Unbelievable, right? Hey, Third Eye. Hey, Nakai. Hey, Jager. Good to see you. Yes. Gave them truth in these songs. They prefer the lies. Word to wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Yes. Nakai, how have you been? Hey, Denise. Yeah, like I'm stunned by this. Honestly, it's pretty disturbing. So he is, a self-professed vampire. Again, the number has went from 10 to 13. Now, he is being accused of drugging his victims with a white substance. I'm not sure what sort of witnesses they may have to this, but they say he has single-handedly massacred victims in the most callous manner. And even, oh my God, I hate to even repeat this, but he was even sucking their blood from their veins before executing them. Like, ugh, ugh. The killing spree allegedly began 5 years ago with a 12-year-old girl he kidnapped in Machakos County, east of Nairobi. It's this is authorities bringing out a dead body. He has started to take people, the authorities, to where he dumped these bodies. Um, mm, it's disturbing, you guys. And the truth of the matter is, you can never really depend on the word of a killer. Like there are some insanely honest killers, but at the same time, like the victim count, I don't believe that it's just 10. To me, I feel like in a lot of cases, some of these serial killers or these people that target children, it's like they have a demon on them, like they're possessed, especially people that are into, really weird stuff like this. And this whole sexual assault, like when they're predators, like serial predators. But that, I mean, I'm not saying that to give them any sort of way out at all. All I'm saying is that I've sometimes wondered to myself if those sorts of things are connected to the spirit in some way. That's it. Can the spirit be pierced with such evil that it could possibly take over your entire body and lead you to do things that you normally would not do? And I think I more so started kind of like leaning into this kind of thought process after the Cash Garnon case, because that made no sense. What that crime absolutely made zero sense. None. The guy's just crazy, talking to himself. He thinks he's talking to someone else. I mean, and I've talked about this before, but y'all, he is not, this guy, Manjala, he is not remorseful for his crimes. He has remained unapologetic over his actions, and quite the opposite. He has said that he derived a lot of pleasure from killing his victims. And the thing about it, they're not saying anything about like sexual assault or anything, but you can't help but to wonder that. There's a lot of rape that goes on in Kenya, even to this day in 2021. There's a lot of rape that goes on. So it's crazy. You just got over a cold, feeling much better. Good, good, good. To kill a vampire, sunlight stake through the heart, for him, a bullet to his head. There's only one reason to keep somebody like that alive. You want him to confess and lead you to the rest of his victims' bodies. So, yeah, very disturbing case coming out of Kenya. Just shaking my head, just shaking my head. I cannot believe this. This world is going to hell in a fucking handbasket. That's what's really going on. We prepare for the day Jesus Christ returns. It's only going to get worse. I'm just being honest, and I don't want to be like, this dark energy or whatever, but I'm just telling you how I feel. Like, it's just the world is meant to only get worse. Man and mankind are evil. Period. Sin is upon them. We all have sin on us. We were born into sin. Um. So yeah, I just want to say, that I really, really, really look forward to the Kenyan police, or I should say the Kenyan authorities, to release additional information on this particular guy. This is a type of guy that really, really needs to. They need to go through this so thoroughly. Bring him in every day for a week, a month. I don't care what you got to do, but make him confess. And the thing about it is the Kenyan authorities, they're not under the same rule of law that we may be under. So they may give him a little bit of a pushing, or a little bit of a hard force. But again, it's not our place to say. That's just how their law system goes over there. Um, I mean, there's even people, y'all, that literally believe that if you are albino, that the very bones in your body could cure them. Albinos have to literally hide themselves in multiple parts of various different African countries. Remember, Africa's a continent, right? But there are multiple countries, I kid you not, in Africa where being an albino is dangerous. And and for those who may not know, if you've never met anyone who's albino, essentially they just have no pig melanin. They have no melanin that gets produced in their bodies. So their skin incredibly light, why almost translucent. um, their eyes, you'll typically notice that they don't have good vision. Again, they don't have pigmentation, so even their eyes are very sensitive to light, and a lot of times they can't even focus their eyes. It's almost like their eyes like twitch back and forth. And I'm not kidding you guys, I've watched some really, really, really jacked up documentaries. There was one that I watched. It was a Vice News documentary. Shout out to Vice. They really, really went into some dangerous territory trying to expose what was happening to albinos and almost died trying to report on the story. Um, there are shamans that claim the ground up bone of an albino, sprinkled on a sore will cure you. Drink this concoction, it'll cure you. Put this under your tongue, it will cure you. The ears of an albino will make you hear better. The eyes, the eyes aren't going to make you see better, but y'all know what I'm saying, right? Oh, I got hip problems. Well, let me lick on a hip bone out of an albino. It's disgusting. And it doesn't stop at grown people. They literally kidnap albinos, purposely targeting albinos, men and women. It's really, really sad. So it's a lot of weird, like third world stuff still going on, even in here in 2021. Again, this guy Manjala is not remorseful for his actions. I suspect the number of victims is going to rise. He's been operating for 5 years in a country whose law enforcement is absolutely nothing like what we're used to over here. Nothing like. So this will be a story you'll want to watch. And I really hope that we'll see some more about this story on some American programs over the next couple of weeks. So there you go. He is a serial killer, and even worse, he is a child serial killer. So, um, that's what I wanted to discuss with you guys. One thing I wanted to bring up before I end this video, I've got a couple other videos scheduled. One about Britney Spears. I do want to talk about that. I really am happy for Britney Spears. I never, ever, ever thought that it was right what her father did to her when he did that whole conservator uh, legal maneuver that he did. And the only reason why, honestly, this is just my opinion, I feel like that he did it because he wanted to secure his own back. Even in the last couple of months, Britney Spears' father, Jamie, has even submitted legal bills to the courts to the tune of 1.5 million that he's trying to get his daughter Britney Spears to pay out of her pocket at the end of the day. And he wants another $600,000 for his personal reimbursement or whatever for whatever, right? It's so gray what he's asking it for. The point of the matter is that we are seeing right through it. It looks like her father, enacted this conservatorship because he wanted to control her estate. And it's really sad that the state of California allowed him to do it at that time. Now I know it was a perfect storm because Britney Spears, was going through things, and then of course when she had that whole like acting out situation and went into a place and shaved her hair off, and hit a paparazzi's vehicle with an umbrella and broke, whatever. That was used against her, and so don't take what the lady posts on Instagram like it's Bible. She's making metaphors about shit, like she wants this to be over. Could you imagine going to work every day to to your craft, your art? You go to work every day, but a whole fucking group of strangers controls the money that you make. It's unbelievable. And the other unbelievable thing was the $5,800, that's right, $5,800 bottle of Japanese whiskey that was gifted to former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who was an absolute poor choice for a Secretary of State. He was in under Donald Trump's administration, and he has been accused of some of mismanaging things, using like the budget of the State Department, him and his wife to their own discretion. There were over 100 personal, non-work related requests to various State Department employees, anything from ordering gifts to booking salon appointments and taking care of the family dog. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And every single dollar that this fat prick made in office came out of our fucking paychecks, you know? So it's pretty fucking disgusting. And the fact of the matter is, if you are a State Department employee, if you're a government employee, you're only allowed gifts up to $390. Anything past that, they actually have to, they're legally actually bound to do this, to pay an appraised cost for whatever that gift is. And this expensive whiskey just sort of like disappeared. And of course, Mike Pompeo says, "Oh, I had no recollection of receiving the bottle of whiskey, and I don't know what happened to it." You know. Now, listen, this guy, Mike Pompeo, he has given strong indications that he's going to be a candidate for the president of 2024 race. And that's the only reason why I'm even bringing it up. And we will talk about it, in a future video. But it's like, hey, Mike Pompeo, he was a piece of shit State Department head, and he would be a piece of shit president. No way. Nobody's going to vote. I hope not. I shouldn't say nobody, and I shouldn't say won't happen, because we've seen weird shit happen. And what we are also witnessing here, and this is something else I'm going to get scheduled too, is what is now being called just a straight up coup attempt by Donald Trump to just take the presidency. I guess he was just going to force his way to stay in office. And even right now is going back and forth with courts. And he really, really is trying to convince like his supporters. And some people really believe that Donald Trump is going to get reinstated back in as president. And it's not going to happen. It's over. But Donald Trump, the details are really, really starting to come out. And this really looks like a straight up coup attempt. If Donald Trump would have been able to effectively mobilize certain portions of the military, he really, really could have, in all honesty, broken off a piece of this country legit. He could have broken off a piece of this country and made his own. Um, that's the scary thing. You get your hand on some military power, and then them coup attempts become ever so possible and ever so possibilities. So, anyway, I'm gonna bounce up out of here. As y'all know, I talk in double negatives. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I'm gonna let Nina go gal. The bitch over there. I'm gonna let her explain what talking in double negatives is. I'm still waiting on that, Nina, if you don't mind, when you get a chance. I'd like to hear your your interesting take on that. Now, I don't think Nina's gonna get mad because I called her a bitch. She is kind of a bitch. But yeah. That's it, y'all. I'm out. Until next time. Y'all have a good one. I'll catch you in the next live.